My name is Samuel Mwangi Mora. I'm the County Secretary and Head of Public Service. We are here seated with various leaders from my political officer and members of the County Assembly to address a few issues that have come up in form of our press statement. And I wish to start that our attention has been drawn to various allegations against the Nakuru County government, some arising out of failure to understand the initiative on project implementation, falsehood for political gains, and negligence of the cardinal duty to oversight with hard facts by some various elected leaders within Nakuru County. At the onset, we want to restate that the Nakuru County government, under the leadership of Her Excellency Governor Susan Kihika, is focused on the mission of transforming the life of the residents of Nakuru socially, economically, and culturally through publicly owned projects, prudent use of resources, and delivery of quality services to the citizens of Nakuru and close to their homes. We will not waver to this commitment by Her Excellency the Governor. Now to address the issues at hand, the first issue is a circular that was issued by the County Secretary and the Head of Public Service. The circular is dated 23rd January 2025. This circular was meant to inject sustainability and efficiency of project through feasibility studies to ensure that we establish social and technical viability of this project, training users, community engagement, and mobilization. Through this initiative, the county aims to improve community ownership of projects, timely completion, and avoid cost of delayed projects, and increase uptake of projects after completion. It evidently and clearly from the past, there has been incidences of millions of shillings have been lost due to projects which have not been implemented well. We'll be able to demonstrate some projects here, and we'll pick one ward, that is Naivasha East Ward, where we have several projects. The first one is the Karai Fish Market. This project was to cost 350 million. It was commissioned, the construction was commissioned in 2021. It was through a partnership of the county government of Nakuru and the East African Grain Council. The project so far has spent 107 million in the construction. There is more money that was spent in buying the land, out of which 89 million has gone into the construction of the shed. 9 million has been used to do the borehole. And there's an amount that has been used to do a fence. Yet there's no market and no money has been, and no trader is trading in that market yet. There's a meeting we held on 24th of January in the in a project called Karai Water Project, which is very near to this fish market. And the community raised the issues of this market. The first thing they raised to the local community there is that they were never consulted when this market was being constructed. And therefore they indicated that their priority would be a vegetable market, because what they produce there are vegetables and not fish. In another meeting on 29th of January 2025, and these are public meetings, we had a public forum convened by the municipality of Naivasha. And in that forum, we had all the business community, the leadership of the business communities. One of the sector that was represented was the fishing community from the Lake Naivasha. And they also raised the issue with the same market, and they said they were not consulted. They say that according to them, if we are to do a fish market, it should be one of the landing beaches within the lake. And therefore, should feasibility study have been done for this project, one of the requirements is that you are required to engage the host community. You're also required to engage the beneficiary of the project. Both the host community and the beneficiary of the project have disowned this project. And therefore, it's very clear that this project has to be remodeled midway, despite the amount of money that has been used. Should we have been doing a simple market share for vegetable, it would not have consumed as much money as a fish market. And therefore, the money that has gone into that market, then you start remodeling it, there will be a lot of waste. Secondly, there's a borehole that has been done in the market at a cost of 9 million. Unfortunately, no geological survey was done before the borehole was sunk. And the borehole is now producing 1 cubic meter per hour. This is basically a dry borehole. Due to an involvement of the technical department, that's the Department of Water by the previous regime as we're implementing, if you find a dry borehole, you don't equip it, you don't solarize it or electrify it, because the cost of producing this water will be higher. You'd even rather be buying water using a water cruiser. So a decision was made to go on and equip the borehole. It was equipped and it's extracting water, but the cost of extracting 1 cubic meter per hour is very high. You'd rather even buy water using water cruisers. So it's a clear demonstration that lack of feasibility study in the market and lack of geological survey for this borehole led to wastage of a lot of money. This matter is under investigation by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. The second project we want to talk about is the Kiambogo market, again in the Naivasha East Ward. There's a market in Kiambogo, a place called Kiambogo. It has two components. The market was initiated in the year 2021-2022. There are two markets in one. We have a fresh produce market and we have a market for animals. The fresh produce market has so far, we found they had already paid 3 million by the time this regime came in. And the livestock market had spent 1.5 million. That makes a total expenditure of 4.5 million. To date, not a single animal has been sold in the animal market. Not a single trader has occupied the fresh produce market. When we engage the community, they tell us that they were never engaged in 2021, and that was not their priority. And even the traders have refused to occupy that market. Again, this demonstrates that lack of proper engagement of the beneficiary is leading to a lot of wastage of money. The third project, again in Naivasha East Ward, is a vegetable processing plant in a place called Munyu. This project began in the year 2021-2022, and so far 5.1 million has been spent in this project. It's a vegetable processing plant, which means it's a factory. This factory is being change of user, because if you're building a factory to process vegetables, there are various things you need to do. The first thing is a feasibility study. To establish the amount of vegetables that you have, to establish the kind of processing that you need to do. And that will determine the kind of factory to be built, because in itself determines the kind of equipment to be installed. There's no feasibility study that was done for this project. The committee was never engaged, and therefore, nobody is clear on what kind of vegetables are we processing and how. We are not clear after processing where the market is because of lack of that feasibility study. And therefore, the land was bought and paid for, and even if we succeed in building this factory without a change of user, that factory cannot be operationalized, because the neighbors will simply go to court. It is illegal, it's against the law. And if a neighbor goes to court and stops that factory, a lot of money will have been sunk into it. Number two, without determining through a feasibility study the kind of processing we want, because depending on the kind of processing you want to do, you determine the kind of equipment and the kind of factory you are building. And therefore, should that project have gone on, I want to confirm that that project was stopped so that we can conduct a proper study, because we found this project going on when this regime came in. And therefore, even the building that was being done was a normal building. And therefore, we were waiting to build that building, we roof it, then after we determine which equipment, we start demolishing to install the equipment. And therefore, this clearly demonstrates the need for feasibility study to have been done in this, before this vegetable processing plant was started. There's another project again in Naivasha East Ward, a social hall that is being constructed in Kinongi Police Station. The first issue is that you cannot build a social hall inside a police station. The two projects are totally incompatible. A social hall is meant for social activities, for playing games. For example, in a social hall, we normally have games for the young people where they come and play pool table, darts. We encourage them to come there to interact. There are those who are struggling with the issues of drug addiction. We encourage them to come to the social hall. A social hall in nature is supposed to be used to rehabilitate people. The police station is supposed to arrest these people, and therefore you cannot have a social hall inside the police station. The second thing with this social hall is that it was being built on a quarter of an acre within the police station. A social hall requires a minimum of 2 acres, so that you have sufficient space within the social hall for meeting rooms. You have sufficient space for indoor games, including sitting volleyball. And outside the social hall, you're supposed to have a small playing field where the people can engage in games like volleyball. And therefore, this project will not viable. However, if it is a need for the community, the process should have looked like this as per the circular. The first thing is to engage the community, because public participation is meant to identify the project. Then doing a feasibility study is now how you engage the community, the beneficiary community. Therefore, should the community have been engaged properly, the first thing is to be educated that should you need a social hall, it cannot be inside a police station. And therefore, the first project should have been to procure land, if it's not available anywhere else. The community needed to be educated that should we start this social hall, then subsequent financial year during public participation, they cannot ask for another project, because we cannot buy land for a social hall. Then in the same community next year now start a borehole. We have to complete one project before we start the other one. And therefore there was need for some money to be spent to engage the community and educate the community, so that should this be the priority of the community, they will be explained that the moment we start by buying land and explain to them what a social hall is and the objective, is that we will bring another project to that community the moment this project will be completed. I want to say that social hall has already been stopped. We are remodeling it to fit the purpose that is compatible with the police station. The fourth one, the fifth project I want to feature in that ward, there's a health facility called Munyu Dispensary, where unfortunately a lab was constructed, a laboratory was constructed. If you go to the policies of the Ministry of Health, you cannot construct a lab in a dispensary. However, if the community felt that there is need for a dispensary, there was need for dialogue between the technical department and the community to explain to them on the process to be followed for them to get a lab. Because the process should be that we need now to work on a framework of upgrading that facility to a level 3 minimum facility. And the priority project in that case would be a maternity. Because even if you operationalize a maternity before a lab, a maternity will start offering services as you get a lab. Unfortunately, we started with a lab, it was done in the previous regime. Now we are having to construct a maternity so that we can operationalize the lab. It shows the need for proper engagement between the community and the technical department and the need for feasibility studies. The other thing we want to address is an issue of some demonstrations that happened in Olengurundi recently to do with the states of the road. I want to state that the residents of the Olengurundi took to the road on the instigation of Senator Keroche, the Senator of Nakuru, on the states of the roads in the area. These roads, to be very clear, were meant to be constructed from money that was sent to the TCS deduction that is usually deducted by KTDA. And I want to start by stating that since 2013, KTDA has never submitted this money to the county government of Nakuru. Some of the reasons is because there were no proper engagement between the county government of Nakuru and KTDA. We didn't have legal instruments like a budget or an enabling law. However, through the effort of Her Excellency the Governor, the engagement of the executive KTDA, I want to confirm for the first time since devolution, KTDA has started submitting money. They were agreed to remit a total of 66.8 million in four installments. The first two installments were received, the first installment was received on 13th December 2024, and the second one on 18th December 2024, a total of 33.4 million. I want to confirm that the moment we received this money, the first thing we needed to do was to ensure that this money is captured in the budget, and this was captured in the recently approved supplementary budget by the County Assembly. However, this supplementary budget has not been approved by the control budget, and therefore it's not in use yet. For the senator to go and incite the community that the money has been stolen, the money that was submitted in December, she should know that there's a process of budgeting that needs to be. We are not just spending money. As a senator of Nakuru, she should be aware that the supplementary budget has not yet been approved, and therefore she cannot go inside the community and purport that the money has been stolen. What we have done so far, it is captured in the supplementary budget, but the Department of Infrastructure, the Chief Officer is here, has already identified the roads to be done, working in collaboration with the area MCS, and the bills of quantities have been prepared. So we are waiting for the control budget to come. The Senator owes Nakuru County 30 million in the water utility in Naivasha, Naivas. Her company Keroche owes Naivas 30 million, and that's negatively affecting service delivery. If you look at how water utilities operate, they do not make any profit. So it's just a service fee. So it's a fee for service. So when the senator is holding 30 million, it means Wanjiku, other poor people are paying for her water because this company doesn't make any profit. So it's not that she's eating from the profit of the company. She's eating from other poor people who are getting services. They're either getting water rationed, or they're not getting water in some estate because she has refused to pay her money. Further, through liquor licenses and advertisement, she owes the county 10 million. Again, if you know how the county operates, apart from what we receive from the national government, we collect our revenue locally, the money is put together, and this is the money that goes into buying drugs, this is the money that goes into employing healthcare workers. And therefore, if she has any interest in improving the health services of our mothers within our maternities, she should be able to pay this 10 million so that we can procure more drugs, procure more equipment, and operationalize other pending maternities, which we haven't yet gotten funding for. Lastly, there has been a delay in the implementation of this year's budget. I want to state that due to the withdrawn finance bill 2024, the county government of Nakuru was affected negatively, and we had to reduce our budget by about 750 million because of that. Further to that, the circular that comes from Senate guiding us on the reduction that needs to happen, because we couldn't start spending until we are clear on how much we are spending. Because you can imagine if we started spending, then we are told to reduce our budget by 750 million. It would be a total disaster. And therefore, the circular came around early in December, and we were able to initiate the supplementary budget. The County Assembly approved the supplementary budget in the month of December, and we are still waiting for the control budget to approve the budget. As a prudent government, we cannot initiate any procurement until we have the budget approved by the final approval and uploaded. And therefore, we will be able to initiate procurement for this year once the control budget is done with the supplementary budget. The preparation of BQ has happened, all the processes are ready, we are just waiting for that so that we can advertise. Thank you so much.